Hi, I'm Jim Gordon, and you're watching Market 1 Minute. Joining us is Frank Holmes, CEO and CIO of U.S. Global Investors and Executive Chairman of HIVE Blockchain Technologies. Frank, welcome.
Great to be back.
Always great to talk to you, Frank. Let's dive right in. Where should investors consider putting their money as we close out 2021 and looking ahead to 2022?
Well, clearly with all the money printing with the G7 countries, and what's been really a contrarian bet is gold. Since 2000, 80% of the time gold has been up, and this is one of the few years that it's lagging. Gold mining companies are giving lots of free cash flow, rising dividends, and I think you're going to see gold go to $3,000. It has a high probability based on the amount of money printing divided by the amount of gold. It projects gold to $3,000 over the next 12 months.
Frank, where have you seen the biggest impact within capital markets since early 2020?
Capitalism, free markets, millennials. They're the operative words to take a look at. The precedence of young investors coming into the capital markets and price discovery have ignited institutions. We saw this with our JETS ETF. We saw it with HIVE Blockchain, that all of a sudden massive institutional money came in only because the minnows, the Robin Hooders were there, and they've been very accurate. They've done exceptionally well. They're much more informed, much more educated, using all these different social media platforms to capture information. So I think that's a big sort of social demographic change. And then when we have the technology, we've got to think about the evolution of blockchain, and blockchain basically being embraced by the PayPals of the world.
The airline industry was hit hard in 2020, and recent TSA data shows a full recovery is in the making. In your opinion, Frank, what's next for the global travel industry?
Well, it's a combination of the vaccine, and more people get vaccinated, the probability if they get hit with the virus, they're not going to be ill. And so I think it's such a big push to get people vaccinated. With President Biden opening up Europe to be able to fly into America, we had $200 million of new money come into our JETS ETF. We've seen our JETS ETF pick up again. And that was a phenomena that took place in 2020, going from basically $12 to 28, back to 22, now rising again because there's more travel. So I think there's another leg as you get these big waves in the airlines. The biggest challenge with the airlines is going to be energy prices, even though a lot of them hedge. But I think the pent-up demand by, say, Canadians, I want to go south. I've up here my first time in 20 months in Toronto, and everyone tells me they just can't wait to be able to travel south. So I think it's just like everything else, pent-up demand.
Can you explain what the 10% golden rule is and why it is a prudent portfolio strategy to consider?
Well, first of all, is volatility. The DNA of volatility of gold is the same as the stock market. It's plus or minus 1%, and over 10 trading days, it's plus or minus 3%. So they're very, very similar. However, since the year 2000, gold has outperformed the S&P 500 250%. So not being long gold, you've missed a great investment. And the biggest hedge fund in the world, Ray Dalio, he has 10%, and sometimes we'll go to 15%. But this idea of having 10% rebalancing each year is just wise and prudent. And for gold stocks in Canada, the gold royalty companies like Wheaton Precious and Franco-Nevada and any of the other companies that are throwing off free cash flow, I think they have great upside.
Last question, Frank. Blockchain technology is no longer a thing of the past. What role do you see it playing over the next 5 years?
That whole blockchain space is evolving so rapidly, especially with PayPal coming out and providing the instant ability for someone to be able to buy a crypto coin and then be able to trade it and buy a TV. So that was a big phenomena that really helped, I think, propel the crypto mining sector. I created HIVE because we couldn't launch an ETF. It was a great move because HIVE has been this darling, being able to generate the most profitable crypto mining company. But we've basically been making investments in DeFi. We're going into NFT. And very importantly, our GPU chips are extremely valuable for the new world. And we're so happy to be participating in it. We gave a big order to NVIDIA, over $60 million to upgrade all of our systems and be prepared for the best high performance computing, which is a very profitable business.
Frank, as always, thanks for your insights.
Thank you. It's great to be with y'all.
Hi, I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching this Market 1 Minute on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with other videos that we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click on this list to see other great videos from Market 1. And thank you again for watching.